avalara.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now listening to the beginning of a new element. It's Younger Life.
What'd you think we weren't going to be here?
I know, psych. I think you're trying to fake everyone out.
I know. I go. You were looking at me like, hey, hey.
I think that we're past our cue.
Yeah. Mary
funny.
goes, Mary and Ryan's from the executive producer position, Federici, and then Mary goes, when she sings, when the young lady sings, we're supposed to be on. I said, I decide.
Yeah, that's right.
When we're
You're
gonna
the
be
boss.
on.
You're in charge. We all have those days. We just stamp our foot and say
I'm
that.
a legend in my own mind, ladies and gentlemen.
I love it.
Oh my gosh. Another great installment of Younger Life Live. Welcome to it. I'm Rick Federici.
I'm Mary Anthony.
And of course, that guy, Ryan Beth, is our executive producer. I am just so excited. Each day, I think we unwind and have some fun with things that are going on in and around our area. It's about staying younger longer. And I just so enjoy your company. And I just love
thank you. I love it
the
too.
banter.
It's fun.
So, yeah.
It's fun. And again, we're constantly learning things and just, little things. And I take it home. I love it. I do. I love it. So.
This is one of those things where I'm kind of with you on this, and your husband, Jeremy, and my wife, Norma, where we say, we're bringing it home, but I think we bring it home in a positive kind of a way.
Absolutely.
And,
always,
Right.
shoot to be positive for sure.
Well, and I think too, some of the things that we try here on the air, or some of the information that we give out or get, or kind of a combination of all, or the callers or the viewers. If you try it, or you take an initial step to get into that right mode, I think the groove is cool. I have to tell you, on our flagship radio station, WIMS, this morning, AM 1420, out of Northwest Indiana, we cover Chicagoland, Indiana, Southwest Michigan, and we stream. There was a gentleman out of LaPorte, Indiana, named Mark Sobecki. Mark, coincidentally, a listener of Girard Media's radio station, called in and was chatting about one of our guests earlier this week. And I know you're going to be out live with the masses tonight. Let's talk a little bit about that, Mary Anthony.
Yes, tonight there is a very cool event going on at the IU Health LaPorte Hospital is putting an event on called Show Us Your Heart. And the gentleman that called in was actually the grandfather of Abby Combs, who is the one that made she calls it a doodle for her mother.
Love it.
And then redid a large size painting that actually sparked the interest for the event. So, we had them on the other day talking about it, and so many people kept commenting on the doodle, quote unquote, that it kind of the idea was born to do this event where local artists submitted their heart. It doesn't have to be a heart, but it's heart themed work. And at any level, it doesn't have to be as amazing. I mean, Abby's was pretty incredible. She's 15 again, which is really just.
I throw this out there as I look at you.
15 years old, it's crazy.
I'm like, okay, if that's her doodle.
I know, right? Because I can't certainly not
It's
draw anything
crazy.
like that. But because of that interest, they thought everyone could submit these. People can go to the event tonight. There's going to be music. There's going to be heart-healthy snacks. And we're talking, top of the line stuff here. So I'm really excited to go, and you get to browse all the artwork. There were 60 to 80 submissions is what they
absolutely.
Nancy Blossom had pointed out, which is crazy. I wasn't expecting that either. So
And all
I'm
age
excited
groups,
to
by
check
the
it
way.
out. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I said we had asked if it had to be children or students, and they said nope, from preschool well into adulthood. So I think it's cool. It's just, I love it's a laid back event, and it begins, I believe, at 5:30. I was trying to look up the exact address for you to make sure. It's at the Heart and Vascular Center at LaPorte, but it's not in the hospital building. It is actually.
Which, by the way, for those of you that may be familiar with it, as you had mentioned too, it's right next to the main hospital.
Absolutely.
It's on Lincoln Way. So it's,
Right.
if you're familiar with LaPorte, Indiana's City Hall and some of the areas coming off the bridge in that front. And I know we've got our tech line listening right now. We'll keep you updated, of course, throughout today's show on this event and so many others. I want to remind folks while we're talking about this, and I know that people can, while they're at this event, and this is really critical to do this with your significant other, your loved one, your family, make it something that you guys do together. Again, taking that first step for a healthier, younger life.
Yep.
And staying that way is you could actually sign up for what we're calling the heart carts. And the heart
Yes.
carts are phenomenal.
Yep, they're having signups there. They'll sign you up. It's free screenings, $1,200 worth of free screenings. But they're signing up. It's free all through 2016. So, I mean, it's just going to be a really great event and a great timing. February is Heart Health Month. So,
You have your pin on today?
I have
young
my
lady?
pen. You know what? Sue Klebeck gave us
Love
these pens
Sue.
when she was in here. And I think it's so important that it's a little red dress. It's called Go Red campaign to draw attention to heart health in women, And so that's why I've been wearing it every day.
I'm
since
glad.
we've gotten
I'm
it.
glad that
And,
you're. Can I say we two are one on this because you're wearing it for us?
Oh, absolutely. And because it's a dress, I wear. My kids, they say, "Is that a whale?" Was the first thing they said. Is it a whale? No, it's a red dress. It was cute. But I have since we have kids in sports and have wore it to games and practices and had a couple people say, what is that for? So it's given an opportunity
Sure.
to at least say, it's Heart Health Awareness Month and kind of just tell them a little bit about the incredible stories that we've had the privilege to discuss with different patients and people. So I think it's just a good idea. I'm really looking forward to it, to going tonight. It'll be, I believe the time is 5:30 to 7:30. I'm confirming that right now.
Sure, absolutely. And folks, as we continue to do these events out and about and live and wherever you're at, we would love to meet you. And I'm telling folks, stop by and see Mary. She's just as fun on the air as she is off the air. I mean, that's what when I say to folks, you get the same Ricky on the air as you do off the air. It is what it is. I love life, and I
Yeah.
know you are the same way.
Right.
And you're crazy busy, and
Yeah. And,
you come with a great attitude every day.
I try. I think that is so important. Always to be positive. I think shoot to be positive, because if you start out negative or start off with a bad day even, it only gets worse. If you start, everybody has bad days. You're allowed to
Everybody,
have
all of
bad,
us.
bad days, bad minutes, but if you hang on to it, man, it's so much worse. So it is the event tonight. Show Us Your Heart is what it's called.
Sure.
Just to clarify one last time. It's at 901 Lincoln Way in LaPorte.
Okay.
It's next to the hospital, and it is 5:30 to 7:30. So please come out, show your support. It is a free event. Let me point that out again too. So really cool. I'm looking forward to it.
By the way, if you've never tasted Chef Brad's healthy appetizers, here is a great way. And I could tell you from our crew and staff here, we actually did it on one of our segments of Younger Life Live, where we actually did, several plates / and I'm going to use the word tofu, but I don't want to freak anybody out.
I know,
because you
right?
know what I mean, right?
Right,
'Cause
exactly.
you say to yourself, will I really like it? And you eat it and you're like, oh my gosh. It's kind of like you taking a step or two or three, you, Jeremy, the kids, you and the children, making your great blueberry muffins, or
yeah.
Devin making like a cool new salad, or
trying
stuff.
Just trying new things. And that's really that's our whole goal, our whole focus. We want to talk to people every day and find what works for them. So maybe we can inspire someone else to try something. Take the first step. It's always the hardest for all of us. I mean, it absolutely is true, So, I'm interested to see what Chef Brad will actually have there tonight. I think
anything Chef Brad, sign me up.
Oh, I know. He's
I'll
fantastic.
try anything from
I'm
him.
just curious what he's going. Oh, I would too. Please, we tried plain tofu, which tastes like a pencil eraser.
When you said that, you know what? You're not far off, because when you said that, and someone said to me, well, how would you two know what a pencil eraser is? Like I said,
please,
did you go?
never bit on the end of your
Okay,
pencil.
that might have been you, but I'm going to say for the record, I shouldn't say this, and I love you, Lord, more than anything, but not to throw religion in. I went to Catholic school all my life.
Mm-hmm.
So Rick Federici was the rebel kid in class with the number 2
Were you
pencil
the
in the
naughty
back
kid?
or the ruler when you were able to do that, right? And for the record, Rick Federici at one point or another, I'm sure, allegedly, hypothetically, had a pencil in his mouth for whatever reason.
Yeah. Out of boredom, I can recall biting into an eraser, and that is pretty much what plain tofu tastes like. Now, after Chef Brad made the fajita,
Oh.
it was so good. And then
To
that
die.
Asian dish, he's amazing. So definitely go out. Even if you've never tried his food, just go out for that alone.
Can I
Try
tell
out
you?
the snacks. It's just incredible.
I would have loved to have poured his Asian dish,
Mm-hmm.
which he made, which tasted unbelievable. But the sauce was like that peanut butter type sauce.
I know.
But pouring that on some healthy brown rice or whatever.
Absolutely.
Oh,
It
that'd be
was
like
just good.
incredible. I want to throw this out there. Renee says, "Hi, Mary. Looking forward to seeing you tonight."
Oh, good.
But she wanted to say, don't put off actually signing up for the heart cart. Her and her husband did it. They're
Very
going
good
to see
point.
the art tonight. And she says, even if it takes you a while. Now, you and Jeremy
We already signed up.
but you
I
guys are,
actually-
what, about a month, right?
Well, now we're down to just a couple weeks. We go March 4th
Beautiful.
to Friday morning.
So,
actually,
I mean, it does
before
take a little time to get in there.
Yeah,
because so many
I
people are
called-
signing up.
When we had Ashley Dushak on,
Sure.
she was the 30-year-old that found through her free screening that she had a hole in her heart and had to have open heart surgery. That was an emotional one for me. They're always emotional to hear people's stories, but
Agree.
she has very, very young children, and as a parent, your biggest fear is always not living to tell them, have them know how much you love them. So that was an emotional one for me. So
Mm-hmm.
I went home that day and called the hard cart. So I had us booked. Like we're
She
booked,
wasn't even
good
out
to
of the
go. I
parking
wasn't
lot.
gonna mess around.
Jeremy, I don't care what you say. I love
You're
you. You
doing
love
it.
me. You're doing it.
You're doing the hard cart. No, and since then I've talked to my sister and my brother-in-law and my parents and
Good.
said, please, it's so important, and this is a great opportunity for free. I mean, I think that's incredible. I don't know how long that will last. We know for sure it's through 2016.
no matter what.
But we don't know how much longer, so sign up. Who cares
Right.
if you have to wait a couple months?
Can
It's
I?
still a
I'm going to
free
throw
thing.
this out there too, and I said this to you because you said live on the air. Okay, so is it going to take me a long time or whatever? I just want to remind
Right.
folks, it really is simple from the paperwork through the final process. I am not kidding you. If you strategically set it up, you and your significant other could be in and out of there in 15 minutes to a half an hour. And I mean, I'm throwing 30 minutes out there just to give you a little padding.
Yeah.
I literally did it live on the air, and it was absolutely easy, incredible.
Yeah.
I confirmed and, realized a few things that I needed to tweak a little bit. And I got to tell you, that whole just mojo where you're feeling good, you feel really good when it's done.
Yeah, well,
you
that's
know?
that's what I keep thinking. Of course, everyone, you expect things to come back normal, but what a relief when it does, and what a blessing if it doesn't, that you found it before it has been more severe.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I think it's definitely important. The event, though, I think the biggest draw for the event for me is that it is such a laid back event. It's such a cool take on, rather than focus on the scary what ifs, which you have to know.
Right.
But this is
You gotta be
also the
realistic.
lighter side,
Yeah.
and I love that about it. I feel like it gets people in a medical environment that they would normally not want to be at, and it brings attention that this is still that they think, I don't want to go to the hospital or even to one of the hospital buildings. You associate that with something being wrong, and in this
Yes.
case, I feel like this is such a light, fun event that is drawing attention to a great cause, but it's fun and it's okay, and you can be much more relaxed there. So I've been looking forward to it for that reason.
Maybe we could say Mary Anthony on the road live, a new experience.
It's funny. I
A
hadn't
new
even
experience.
I hadn't even thought of it in those
This is
terms, other than
great.
just wanting to go.
Yeah.
Just already setting the family up. After we knew about it, I said, I'm gonna go. We miss a basketball game, big deal. I mean, I hate to say big deal. I
No,
love to watch my
I
children
get it,
play
I get
sports,
it.
but we're at one every day.
Okay, let's be honest
Let's
here.
be real. I'm
you
at
have
an event
multiple
every day.
children that are at multiple games, and you're,
Multiple nights of the week.
And when she says multiple, it's not just one or two. It's like
Right.
3,
this
4.
This week
you know,
is
it's
4.
Crazy.
So,
Yeah.
it's fun. And I love that. But it's okay to miss one every now and then for something that I'm looking forward to, and that's tonight. So,
And I
show
think
us
it'll
your heart,
be.
I'll be there.
I think it'll be really neat. Plus, I'm dying to know tomorrow what you're sampling tonight with Chef Brad. I hope you guys get some good audio and video of this stuff, which should be great.
If we could take pictures and stuff.
You could do whatever you want. You're Mary Anthony. Remember that.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't
You
think
go
that's
like
the
this.
case.
You're doing stuff like this. People,
funny.
people, lights over
That's
here.
so
Can you
funny.
do
Oh,
my hair?
yeah, right.
I love you all.
Oh,
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
funny. Get real.
Yeah,
That's funny.
absolutely.
But it'll be fun. So the with our whole theory on trying new things, yesterday we discussed the music, which we didn't even get to talk about all of the facts as far as the music, whether you're listening or playing, whatever.
Sure.
Trying new things. It's so good for the brain. I checked out a new book at the library yesterday. I just flipped through it, but it's about retaining your memory, which is just kind of funny after discussing that.
You mean you're not going to have that ginkgo biloba that they talked about for years that really wasn't?
Oh,
we won't even go there.
funny.
Shut up, Rick.
Yeah.
Allegedly, hypothetically. I get it, right?
So
Oh my
these are
gosh,
these are
that's
supposed to
crazy.
be little exercises as far as helping to retain memory longer. And I thought, how cool. After we discussed with Joan yesterday about the, they go into assisted living locations and stuff. So, so I think that was really cool and on my mind when I went to the library and saw this book and thought.
What did you go to a local library by your place?
I went to the LaPorte County Library.
I love it.
Oh, I do too. I love the library anyway.
I so think that they are the coolest. In fact, as I'm scoping out the LaPorte County Public Library Spring 2016 classes and events, very cool. Dr. Seuss, March 2nd at the Hannah Branch, celebrating Dr. Seuss. Coloring for adults, which, by the way, I'm going to throw this out there, is so great for the stress.
They say that. I mean, they do. I mean, I like to color with the kids, but like I said, they do say it's great for stress, meditation type, base. So
Here's something for you that I think we could throw into the going younger, longer kind of attitude. Indoor herb garden.
Right.
In
Remember?
Kingsford Heights.
Yeah, we already had that discussion on like urban indoor gardening with Sasha G. Burns. She was pretty awesome.
Do you know what we need to do a show on? And this may be something a little unique one. I don't know if all are about it. And I'm just throwing it out here live on the air. The essential oils, folks. We have chatted with folks on some of the stuff that stuff is, and I don't know, I know it teeters lines, I'm guessing.
Well,
but
still, they,
if it works,
honestly, I mean, we've had a few people say they're really into that right now, which, I'm always willing, try new things, learn new things.
Are they going to put oils on us?
I don't know. I don't really know exactly what they do. That's, I guess, a little bit intimidating all in itself.
Don't you dare touch my hair. Don't
my
you
hair's
touch
always a mess.
it. Oh, your hair always looks good.
That's one thing I don't care. It's just a mess.
That's
Pull
one
it
thing.
back.
Listen, that could be our logo. Younger Life Live. We pride ourselves in our hair.
Do not mess up.
Don't
Rick's
go
hair.
there.
That's funny. Well,
Don't touch our hair. Don't go there.
yeah,
right?
there you go.
Something crazy.
You're a poet.
Well, I see Mr. Eldridge is in the house.
Oh, I'm excited.
And I'm looking forward to bonding with him a little bit, just
Absolutely.
about everything.
Right. Again, it's about trying new things. I know typically myself, I think of martial arts in general, the benefits to children, which I look forward to him talking about. I've thought about putting my youngest in there, a couple of my youngest children. But because of all the other sports, I always say I have to wait till we have an off season, which it's
Is there
looking
ever
like
an
will
off
never
season for
happen.
you, young mom?
But still, that's okay. But I think typically adults, a lot of us do associate that learning with children. But it's incredible to me the things as I'm reading how good for adults it is.
Oh yeah.
And the benefits more than just physical body. So I think we should bring him on in. And
Yeah, Mr. Eldridge, come on in. Woo! A little Younger Life Live here. Rick Federici, Mary Anthony. We do this weekday mornings between 9 and 10. Ryan Beth is our executive producer, of course, here at the helm. And it's always a great day to be alive when you're here. Mr. Eldridge, of course, will be on camera in moments. He's going to love us for this one.
Set up. I know it. I appreciate it so much. You coming in and talking to us.
Thanks for asking me. I appreciate it.
You are absolutely awesome. Now, this guy, you talk about energized. You talk about someone that you walk into his facility and you could feel the word respect, and not by Aretha.
Really?
But you just respect, discipline pop
I love
out.
that.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about your place in LaPorte, ATA Martial Arts. This is so great to have you here in studio.
Well, thanks. I appreciate coming today. One of the things that we've talked about, and you and I've talked about more personally, is granted the way that we try to foster the self-discipline in our students and try to get the things going so that they go the correct path and not the bad way. one of the things we try to teach is high goals and reach high and look forward to each day to foster your goal and go after it, and stay away from the bad things. I mean, I try to teach our students the right from wrong, but as yet get them to think about the what ifs. What if I pick up this rock and I throw it? What if this? What if that? You know, those kind of things, so that they're actually thinking in on the right path
Yeah.
as they go.
And considering consequences, which is really hard. You know, it's a hard thing, especially very young, they don't think that out. You know what I mean? So I think that's a great point, especially if you can get their brains to think in that method.
One of the things that I love to work with the students is one of our life skills, which is integrity. And I always use this, and I use this at my school presentations. I use this in my own school, that when you're in school, someday you're going to be sick. And on that day that you're sick, you might should have had a test. Well, now the teacher's kind enough to let you make that test up, but in order to do that, you got to stay in from recess. So you stay in from recess, you get ready to take your test, and you're sitting there taking your test, and the teacher gets a call and says, I've got to go down to the office to get something real quick. I'll be right back. Well, now you know, as the student, you're sitting there taking your test, that she's got those answers laying on her front desk. So what do? Do you sit there and try to figure out the question that you're stuck on, or do you go up there and cheat? And because who's going to know? And then most of my students have always said, well, I will. That's right.
That's right.
You always do the right thing, even when no one's watching.
That's right.
And that's one of the things
It's
that
a
we try
great
to
life
foster.
lesson.
I agree. Well, you know, as parents, all of us and grandparents that are listening out there and folks that have children around them, no matter what the scope is, you really try to instill into your children, into your grandchildren, what is right and what is wrong. At a point, and I say this to my daughters who are women, you say this to your children, we've talked about this before. Mr. Eldridge, we've talked about this before. It's like you are going to have to make that decision. That is a great example. You, Carly, my daughter, Devin, you will have to make that. I won't be around all the time.
Right.
And if you hear it, if you think in your head that it is wrong, or you're questioning it, go the right way and say, I'm not, better to stay away and not do it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's good. It is hard. It's nice to put it in that simple of terms, especially they get that, they can relate to that, you know, and I think they build from that. It's a great life lesson, you know, absolutely. And I think that's what a lot of people, you know, when you think martial arts, of course, you're going to think physical fitness is a benefit for everyone. You know, when we're talking benefits of martial arts,
Correct.
The discipline and the respect that come with that, I think, is incredible and something that every person, child or adult, needs more of. And also, you know, I like that the confidence. That's why I've always thought it's a great, it's a great way to teach your child to be confident in their own abilities. You know.
Well, one of the things that's really cool about what we do is our program encourages our nonviolent confrontations and resolution. Because if you can think your way out of a situation and use your head, even though you're confident in what you're doing, isn't it better to handle it that way than, you know, the punching and kicking?
Absolutely. That's what the statistics were saying too on a study I was reading, that the teenagers trained in martial arts typically are less violent and will do everything they can to avoid conflict unless they are attacked. And I love that, because I think especially today when we have bullying, and there's always been bullying, but I think there's so much more attention on it because it does escalate. It seems like at least it's in our face more.
Well, one of the things that is a really scary statistic, and I travel throughout LaPorte County and do major bully presentations at the schools. And one of the things, I've got one coming up here, I think next month as well. But one of the things that's really a scary statistic is 1 out of every 3 students is being bullied. And a lot of times, nobody knows.
Yeah.
It's the outcome of those things, and sometimes it's really a sad outcome that
Yeah,
happens with these
absolutely.
students that are being bullied, and it's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one of the things that I'm one of the certified bully protection advisors in the state of Indiana.
Oh, wow.
That I travel and do these, and I do a whole school at one time. We do
Wow.
a 45-minute free presentation, and
That is
it's
fantastic.
very energized. It's really awesome. It's a tremendous
That's
thing.
a great.
You know, it is great. And one of the things I want to throw out there, just because we experienced this with both of our girls, and I'm sure you have too, with social media now
Oh,
a
yes.
part of the bullying. It's brutal
Absolutely.
because they're online. And I'm throwing this out there just to kind of keep you guys focused, because less stress keeps you younger, longer kind of attitude. But as parents, as grandparents, you got to be in tune with those signs. And the signs are, I mean, I would just love it as a parent or as a grandparent to have someone like, you know, Jim Eldridge, Mr. Eldridge in my school, or at least bonding with my child, because sometimes people that are out there, it's cool, man. He's showing us these things, but he's also teaching them, because sometimes it's tough for parents or grandparents because you're in their face every day and they don't want to listen to
Absolutely.
you. But I'm telling you, the bullying on Facebook, the
Yes.
bullying on Twitter, the Instagram, all the social media platforms, it's brutal. And I'm just going to be
sad.
blunt out there, and we talk about depression and things that affect the children. Some kids just commit suicide. They just end
I
it
know, it's
because
such a
that
sad
is
thing.
big, and you hear that all over the country these days. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
all
you
over the
do.
world.
You do, and especially with social media, it's so much more in our face than it used
Mm-hmm.
to be. Not even just the bullying, but the effects of the bullying, and that's why I think it's so important. And I think that's why a lot of people, you know, you think the training of martial arts, you associate that with children, but the benefits to adults are just as good. I mean, you know, the mental sharpness, the obviously it's a different way to tone your body. You know, that's what I was reading. One of my favorite things is that it tones the body from the fingertips to the toes. You know, and I love that. I think you think that's a strange way to put it, but was a funny, interesting fact that I thought is a valid point, because not everything works for everyone. You know, so I love this take on it. Would you mind to tell us how you got interested in martial arts personally?
I actually got interested years and years and years ago when I was a child, because that was the Bruce Lee era. And I got involved in watching it then and working off on the side with things like that. But I actually got interested in martial arts back in 1997 when, to be honest with you, both of my sons started.
Oh, really?
And at the time, I was in law enforcement and doing things like that, and it developed to a point to where I was sitting there watching my sons do this, and I go, why am I sitting here?
You wanted to do it too?
Yeah,
I
wanted to
love
do it.
that.
See,
And the
that's
cool
killer.
thing about
Yeah.
it was my oldest son, who was halfway to his black belt at that time, came out and laid a uniform on my lap,
For you?
and said, "Now you got to call me sir."
Yeah, that's funny.
It's a true story.
That's great.
But anyway, so
That's great.
therefore, within the next day or so, I started doing it. And the funny thing about it is, I caught up with them.
Oh, yeah?
I caught up with
Ooh,
them
I bet they
and
didn't like
tested for my first degree. And then, believe it or not, the three of us, both of my sons, myself, tested for our second degree black belts at the same time, and our third degree.
That is so neat.
So I mean, the three of us, this is what we did. I mean, that
What a great
was-
experience together. You
It
know.
was an awesome experience, and a lot of things that there's a lot of families at my school that are there together training.
I love
And
that.
it's an awesome thing, because then they can practice together, they can work together, they see each other's progress, and they relish in the
Cheer each
progress
other
that
on.
they all get. So
Yeah.
So
That's
this
so
has
neat.
got to be kind of interesting, because obviously your sons, if you don't mind me asking, what are their ages?
right now they're 26 and 25.
Okay, so that's
Mm-hmm.
awesome, and that's neat because Mr. Eldridge, obviously a young man as well. But this is kind of cool. Look at him; he's like, okay, Federici. Well, you know what? And we always say this on the show, Younger Life Live. It's not about the age. Like I always say, I'll run up against these young kids anytime.
Yeah.
Will I do it? Will I be able to kick some butt? I don't know, but I will sure try. Well, they all thought I couldn't do Tour de Laporte,
Yep.
25 miles on my bike, and I did it, and I thought, you know, it was absolutely awesome. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
really cool.
Yeah.
It's such a neat story. What actually got you into the teaching aspect?
I started teaching. It was a goal. Okay, back when I was in high school, I started the majors to go to college to become a teacher
Oh, really?
and to become a physical education instructor.
Mm-hmm.
And as economic times way back then were that I couldn't stay in college. So I came out of college and started working with my father and so on. And as it turns out, I always wanted to coach. I always wanted to be that and work with kids and so on. And that was the goal. So it came about that through the martial arts thing, and I began instructing and helping and doing things that I ended up owning the school or owning my school, opening a school,
That's so neat.
and moved to LaPorte for that particular reason to help out my parents who were ill at the time.
Yeah.
And we moved up here and opened a school, and it's been there since the end of 2001, first part
Oh,
of
really?
2002.
Oh, that's
15 years today.
fantastic.
15 years.
Wow, that's really
Isn't it
fantastic.
incredible?
Could you give us the age range of your students?
3 to in their 50s
I
at
love
the moment.
that. I do.
That's
I
what
love
I
that.
like.
Youngest ones are 3, and I have students that are in their 50s.
That's so cool.
The oldest student that I have that is currently a black belt, which is not practicing at the moment, is 70 years old now.
That is awesome.
Really?
I'm
Wow.
telling you.
Absolutely.
That
See,
is so
something,
great.
it's different for everyone, and it's fantastic. Can you tell us, are your students ever surprised, especially the adult students, by what they take away from the class?
As far as which
like
part?
that they surprised by them their own selves, what
Oh,
they
yes.
what they learn, are they
Yeah,
surprised
I
by
mean,
that?
I've had students come to me and go, I never thought I could kick like that. I never thought I
Yeah.
could kick that high. I never thought I could break that board. I never thought. Speaking of breaking boards.
Uh-oh.
I feel
Speaking
a
of
challenge
breaking boards,
coming on.
well, wait.
No, that's a joke.
No, wait. No, come on. Go for it.
No.
Mr. Eldridge and myself and Paula, some
yeah.
of our former teammates here, we were over at the Civic Auditorium in LaPorte. And we were actually raising money together.
Correct.
Mr. Eldridge was there.
Oh.
We caught what was breaking boards for money we were raising money for the programs. And the challenge was to see if Rick Federici could break boards. And literally they threw out to the audience, everybody give $1 to see. Well, they started collecting money left and right. So Mr. Eldridge showed me the right way how to do it. I was not that I was nervous because I love crowds, but I was nervous on not being a wimp.
Yeah,
on
I'm
being
nervous
able to
on
not
like
break the
you don't
boards.
try
Oh
not
my
to cry.
gosh.
You hit it and you go.
And I'm like
That would be
focused
terrible.
on Mr. Eldridge. I'm like going, okay, I'm pulling the
That's
power
it.
from. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go nuts. I'm
I
ready
love
to
that.
do it. But the first time out, I kind of didn't break the board.
But that's okay though. You tried something new. Look at
Thank
that.
you for saying that. See,
I
that's why I
love
love her as
that.
my
It's
co-host.
called perseverance.
That's right. It is another great life skill.
And that's
See,
what we
try,
teach
try
as
again.
well.
But I did end
love
up
that.
breaking the board.
You
It's
broke
nice.
it.
I
You
did.
ended up
but-
breaking it.
Awesome. I
Yeah.
love that.
So it was an awesome day, but I had to show
He
him.
harassed
That's
me,
I had to
funny.
show
right?
you.
I love
I had
it.
to show him how to do it.
I love it.
Federici, the middle, or whatever it was. Okay. it was great.
No, it
love
was an
that.
awesome day, and I think we raised a pretty good amount of money for your
sure
cause
did.
that day, and it was awesome. But
Oh, good.
but I mean, I have students that just they do like you did. They see this piece of wood or they see this board and they think, that's not going to happen. But
Yeah.
it does, and I mean, and you just do the proper
That's so
thing, and,
rewarding. I mean, really, that's such a rewarding thing.
It
have,
is.
Have you personally found any, like emotionally more, found the teaching aspect to be more rewarding than you expected it to be?
Well, yes, it's more rewarding than you can actually understand because it's you watch a person. It's like molding clay. You end up with you start with this piece and then you mold it and you work with it and you develop it. But the thing that I've always said, and this is the thing that I deal with on a daily basis, they come back and go, we want to thank you for all you've done for us and all that.
Oh, yeah.
And I just look at them and I tell them, I didn't do anything. I just gave you the tools. You did it all. And I
That's
mean, and
nice.
that's it. They do all the work. They
Yeah.
do it. We just show them the direction. We give them the blueprint,
I love that.
and they
That's
do the
really
work.
nice.
And it comes about, and then you see this awesome transformation. And that's all there is to it. And the more you you deal with it, the more you work with these people and so on, you become part of them to a degree, because you're right there with them,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's
It's nice.
it's amazing.
This is great. Yeah.
It
and
is. It's so neat.
One of the things I want to throw out there too, so we always talk about taking that first step no matter what your
Absolutely.
age is. So you may have children right now, and you heard from 3 all the way up to the
Yeah.
wisest of years and then some. So try it. If you want to scope it out, I would say try it. There's always something good. Can I ask, Mr. Eldridge, like when it comes to the classes and things, and for the viewers and for the listeners that are out there, talk about the classes, because I know that you create the class structure because you're very focused on making sure the students know this is very important, what you're going to be doing here, with the ATA martial arts, but school, family, you kind of have carved it into something very unique. Can you talk
mean
about
with my
that side?
schedule?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, my schedule. Yeah, I actually designed this schedule, believe it or not, on an airplane, on the way to national championships one time. I sat on there and just worked and worked and worked till we got it figured out. My schedule is really cool, that my students, depending on the program that they're in, they have the eligibility of coming to at least 5 classes a week if they work it out right. In other words, depending on the program, my basic students, beginner students, come 2 times a week, but their classes are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday morning. So out of that schedule, this week, maybe Monday and Wednesday works for them. Maybe next week, Tuesday and Friday works for them.
See, this
Oh,
is
that's
cool.
that
So
flexibility
they
is
can,
very nice. And
they
as
can,
parents,
it
we
doesn't
really
matter,
appreciate
because
it.
whatever fits into the family schedule that they
Yeah.
can bring them to the class is when they do it.
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
great.
Monday and Wednesday locked in. It's not
Yeah.
done that way.
That's really nice.
And then, the other program that I have, they can come 3 times a week, and then I have 2 separate programs that they can come every day. But the one thing that I do have, if the student is in the basic program, the beginner program, on Thursday are my specialty classes. So I have a class that I want all of my beginner students to attend, which is my self-defense class. And I think that it's important, as well as the martial arts that they're getting, the taekwondo they're getting, karate type things. But I also would love to have them come to the self-defense class, because that's as well important. That is completely different than we normally work with in the other classes. It is just awesome.
Is that a class that anyone could sign up for if they weren't, for example, if I were to,
I never thought about that.
just because, we have 5 children. If I were to put, my youngest ones are the ones I was thinking about trying this with. If I did that, but I have daughters too, and my daughters are range in age, but just get into the teen years, except my oldest is 15. I think she's a pretty tough girl. They all are. But I think she could certainly benefit from a martial arts or from a self-defense class from
Sure.
that aspect. I mean, I think everyone could, truthfully.
Well,
but
why don't you bring her over tomorrow and let her have a free class and see what she thinks about it?
I'll have to definitely
There
get
you
class
go.
times from you. I mean, I think it would be cool. They would all love to do it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just they are all into
I don't know
sports.
any kids that really don't love karate. I mean, they
Yes.
see
Yes.
this
Oh,
and
please!
all
Oh,
They
that.
it's
play
like
karate. I think
awesome,
it's
yes.
it's like born into them.
Yes, I
You
think
know,
all of
it's
us.
so right. Yeah, but absolutely. It's just it's funny. They from the very littlest of ages,
Yeah.
play
They need to
like
come and
that,
discover
so.
their awesomeness.
I love that. Do you personally, obviously, martial arts keeps you pretty fit, especially teaching all these classes. But do you do anything else to try to keep yourself healthy? Younger, longer. Do you do anything?
No.
No, okay.
I
I mean,
don't
that's a
have
lot.
time.
Obviously, yeah, I was gonna say you clearly are pretty much
Yeah, I
7
don't
days a
have
week.
time.
And
No, I spend a
working
lot
on
of
it.
time with the school, with the business, and trying to develop the programs, and of course, with the students and so
yeah,
on.
absolutely.
I wish there was more time to spend doing those kind of things, but no, that's a full-time job.
But you are you're teaching them physically, showing them. You're not just so you are keeping yourself healthy by
I
maintaining.
spend
that,
time on
yeah.
the floor as well. Yes.
Yes, that's
I
great.
do have a head instructor, and he's awesome. And I don't know what I would do without him, because
Really?
he's really, really cool. He
Oh,
is.
that's really neat.
Mr. Membrilia is one of the most gifted individuals out there.
Really
Yeah, he is. He's amazing.
good.
So he keeps our students going well.
I think it's great for our audience to hear that there are so many different things they could try. What do you think if, say, starting today, someone wants to take the first step just to try something new? What would you recommend that they call your?
I would suggest that they contact me. They set up a time to come in. We'll work with them. I mean, I basically, when a new student comes in, I work with them with their intro class, put them through the things that they need to know, and work with them a little bit. And then they fall into the regular
Then they
class
go.
structure after that.
I think it's great. Good
They have a
information.
ball. They have a ball. I mean, all the kids come in, and of course, with any new thing, any student or any person is always nervous.
Yeah, that's so true.
That would be me.
It's
But-
true. It really is. That's human.
Does my
nature, too,
uniform
I
look
think.
good?
I think it's just. I think
Mr.
it's
Eldridge,
just human
Federici,
nature.
stop it.
It's the hair.
Okay.
It's the hair, man. You know.
Here it is the hair. It's all about the gel, as I say. You know, and then let's spin that because you're talking about the youth. Now I'm thinking the working professional,
Right.
the adult, because you offer
That
classes.
reminds me. We were talking about my schedule, and we kind of got off
Yeah,
about that.
yeah.
But here's the cool thing about my schedule that is very important to me because I have a young daughter. I have young kids as well. But my schedule is that I have no student unless it's the parent's choice, and this is where we got to clarify this. But all my kids' classes are done by 7 o'clock.
Oh, that's nice.
They are not
Awesome.
in
That's
there
nice.
after 7 o'clock unless it's the parent's choice that they say, okay, well, I can't get them there
Right,
until
right.
that class. That's
Understandable.
when I can do it. Then, but that's the parent's choice. That's not mine. But I have all my kids' classes are done by 7 o'clock because I feel strongly that they need to be home. They need to be home in the family structure, dinner, homework,
Bed,
getting
yeah.
ready for the next day, be in bed at a reasonable hour
Right.
because that's part of being healthy as well.
It is absolutely, and some of the benefits for anyone, but especially for adults, you know, that we had that I found was better sleep, better concentration, improved emotional health, which any physical exercise that we've talked about is good for the emotional health, but improved heart health, good for Heart Month, improved self-image, stronger immune system. I found that fascinating too. Just boost everything in the body. So I love that. Greater strength and flexibility, which I kind of expected. Healthier weight. The it says, it just talks about asthma in here, how this assists with asthma. It's fascinating, truthfully, and I don't have time to read the whole study. It's just, it talks about how heart disease is one of the most, it's the biggest killer of
It sure
Americans.
is.
Scary stat we've talked about almost every day in February. 610,000 people die every year of heart attacks and heart-related stuff. So this, any exercise is good for the heart, but this literally works the entire body and boosts everything, I love that. I think it's a great alternative to the traditional gym or fitness program that people may get bored with. Try something new, try something different, and this is a great tie-in and something that I think, why not? Try something different.
Well, one of the things that we've always said is we're training both body and mind. The
Right.
neat thing about Taekwondo or martial arts is that you're using both sides of your body. You're not just using one side, or you're not just using one side of your brain to focus on this, focus on that. You have to as well focus on what your techniques are, what you're moving, work on those kind of things. I mean, and it is work. People come in and
Right.
they think, oh, well, we're just doing a high block and a reverse punch and a front kick and whatever. And the next thing is they're going, I'm tired.
I'm sore.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean,
Well,
certainly.
you've been doing something.
That's
That's
it.
right.
And it's good for you. Move.
What is
yeah.
a typical class? Is it about an hour-ish?
Good question.
My basic programs, they're in there for 45 minutes.
That's
My
perfect.
Black Belt Club program is in for an hour. Because the last 15 minutes of class, they're working on specialty things for their program.
Right, right.
And then you talk about going and traveling all over the country from a competitive standpoint, and you're out there. Do you do that several times a year? When you're talking about getting belts or getting certified, does that happen at your establishment, Mr. Eldridge, or does it just depend upon where you're at in your
Well,
program?
my students normally, until they reach third degree or higher, will all test in midterm and do things like that at my school. Beyond that, once you get third degree or higher and you're testing for your higher ranks, you have to travel to the major tournaments, the
Really?
world championships or national tournaments in order to do that because you have to test in front of the masters, 6
Really?
degrees and higher.
This is
So
great.
I mean, this might sound like a silly question, but for someone that doesn't really know, how
There
many
are no silly questions.
how many levels are there?
9.
Really?
Did you see that? It was a great
was
question.
thinking-
Right off top, it said 9.
I was thinking.
How does that work? Is it colors
Wow.
and then?
You have 9 ranks of color belt, beginning at white, and it goes all the way to what we call our divisional belt, which is first degree black belt recommended, which is a red-black divisional belt, and then your first degree black belt. Once you reach first degree black belt, then you have 9 ranks of black belt. There is only one
Wow.
9th degree black belt, which is our Grand Master.
Wow, that is
Yes.
really incredible. That's something definitely something new.
Where
I
are
didn't
you at
know.
on that black belt? Because your sons obviously they're both black belts as well.
Correct.
Wow, that's got to make you proud.
That's correct.
Where are
Yeah.
you at on that?
4.
Wow,
4th degree.
Wow,
that is awesome.
that is. I mean, that's time consuming, and I mean, really, I would imagine difficult. I mean, I can't imagine how much higher it would go. You think black belt, boom, that's good, but
The cool thing is I have a lot of students that are ranked in the top 10 in the state of Indiana in competitions. I have several black belts that are also ranked in the top 10 in the world.
see, I
So,
love
mean,
that.
And the thing that a lot of people, there's a misnomer out there that if you begin martial arts at my school, you've got to be in competitions. You don't have to compete. People compete
that's a
against
very good-
themselves,
Yes.
on
That's
a daily
it.
basis. But I mean, I love competition. I love competing. I love that because it's something that I've always done and my family has always done. And it's just a great way of meeting people and reaching the next level, reaching another goal.
Always a new goal. I love that.
Yeah.
You know.
Can you throw out for the folks that are listening or viewing, and we'll have this up on Facebook as well, your information being your location. Let's talk about telephone number, ways that folks can get a hold of you, because I know from a social media standpoint, you're definitely on Facebook, and we've shared things on
Yes.
the flagship radio station here, WIMS. Let's talk about your phone number and your address.
Well, my phone number is in LaPorte, which is 219-325-0302. I'm located at 1700 Lincoln Way, which is right before J Street. It's
Okay.
at the west end of town. It's really easy to find. So I'm right there,
Easiest thing to say is you're right next to IU Health LaPorte Hospital.
close.
I mean, you're
right
literally
down by-
right down the block.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
right there.
right on the.
Yeah, I'm
By
just down the
Toadies?
block about 2. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
That's it.
Matter of fact, I'm right across the street from Toadies.
Okay.
Yeah, on that side street there. I'm right next to it.
Okay. That side of
Yeah.
Lincoln Way, though, then right there. Yep.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Oh, good. That
Look
is
at her.
easy.
She's thinking.
Yeah, I'm
I can see
thinking.
her
I'm
head's
just-
working.
I'm
Her
thinking,
husband's
that is
listening.
easy.
This
That's
is easy to get
perfect.
those kids there.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, we're right there in the complex with the Verizon
Yes.
wireless store and so
Okay.
on. It's right there. So,
Okay.
and we're easy to find. Very easy to find. I got a great big sign on the roof.
It's nice. There's no street park. I mean, there's parking lot right
Oh,
there.
yes, ma'am.
So you don't have to street parking. Sometimes that's difficult on Lincoln Way.
I always
so.
say I love the way his office is kind of set, because you've got, for lack of a better word, you've got these really cool ramps. They're handy
yes.
accessible ramps
Yes.
right in front of his place. So I mean, somebody look at that and say, "Oh, that's a cool way to get down there." They're obviously there for a reason,
Right,
But
right.
his
It looks nice.
the way his presentation is, he's set perfectly right there.
Oh, that's neat.
And I love the floor, and I love the atmosphere there. And what's nice too is I think that you just are a common middle class dude that helps out everybody that walks in there. You could really get some great things in there for the families. I mean, you've set it up so they're getting a uniform, they're getting lessons and different things. Let's talk about some of the specials, because you do have some specials running right now that I know of.
Oh.
I do. Yeah, I just had a special that we were advertising or hammering the heck out of on Facebook, which is a 4-week program for $59, and they got a free uniform.
Oh, wow. That
They
is
can
good.
come to class 2 times a week. They get 8 classes in a 4-week session. They get a free uniform. They're out there playing with us and having a grand time, and they look just like the rest of us. They got a
Yeah, they
uniform.
love
I just hand
that.
them a uniform and they have a ball. The other thing that I have is, and I think you somewhere around here, you should still have some of those.
Yes.
We've got some vouchers that is from the Dignity Kids Foundation. which gives the student, the voucher is worth $195 off of the program.
Oh, wow.
So when they enroll, it's basically going to get them $4 they have to start.
Oh.
They walk in, they give me $4,
Wow.
they get a uniform, and they're out there doing the program. And then, of course, they do the monthly fee or they pay the balance, whatever
Yeah.
works. But it's
That's
a
great.
great way to get started, especially
Absolutely.
in nowadays times, because, it's being funded by, another source.
Well, it's a great way to take that first step
To try
without,
it.
right, to try it
Right.
without having to be concerned about it being, a lot of extracurricular type things are outrageous. So, I mean, I
Very
think that's a
true.
great way for a family to be able to take the first step and say, all of us, or, the kids, or even just the adults, or just someone that needs to find a new way to, find balance in their own life. The stress outlet, the exercise, it's all wrapped in one. So
Well, the
I
thing
think
that-
that's cool.
One of the things that I want your listeners to really understand more than anything is that what we teach is not all punching, kicking, and yelling.
Mm-hmm.
It,
Very good point.
really get upset with watching the television with all these
Yeah.
fancy things they're doing on TV, and they think that they get out there and that's all they do is punch, kick, and yell, and learn how to whoop on somebody.
Right.
That is not what this is all about.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, more so than that, even though we are teaching martial arts, we are teaching self-defense, we're teaching those things, but the thing that we're teaching is life skills.
Yeah. I think
Making
that's
the
the perfect
right
point.
choice.
Great way, great way to sum it up as far as it's just another way to find that balance
Yep.
in every aspect. And I love that. I think that's a really good point.
Well,
I'm so
it's-
glad you're here today.
That's what I said. He's just a wealth of information,
Mm-hmm.
knowledgeable man, respect, discipline. It's something incredible, not only for yourself, no matter what your age is, but let's be honest,
Absolutely.
it's a family fun activity. It's something that you could try. And by the way, let's be realistic
Good for
here.
you.
You could try it at such an affordable price point
Yeah.
that, why not try it?
That's nice. Absolutely. Another
seriously.
option. I think it's a great point. I love that. Good point.
I
All good
absolutely love it. Again, we've got about a minute or so before we wrap up the show and call it another great day here at Younger Life
Yeah.
Live. Throw out your phone number once again, please, and then also your address, Mr. Eldridge.
All right, address 1700 Lincoln Way in LaPorte. Phone number is 219-325-0302.
All right, so
Sounds good.
coming up, it was absolutely great to have Mr. Eldridge in here.
Yes. Thank you for coming.
Of course, as we look to the next couple of days, a recap, we've got about a minute
Okay.
or so. So let's talk
the
about
rest
stuff
of
coming
this
up.
week.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll go with
All right.
that. For tomorrow, we are talking about volunteerism, which is
Beautiful.
wonderful. We could spend a month on that
Making a
alone.
difference.
But we do have 3 volunteers that have been volunteering at IU Health LaPorte Hospital for many, many years.
Mm-hmm.
And then Friday, we have, we're discussing all things YMCA, community programs and stuff, when we have Ben Fott with us.
Yeah,
on
Ben's going to be
Friday. So
fun.
I'm
He's
excited to
full
meet
of
him.
energy, and I think it's going to be great. Don't forget, you will be out this evening.
I'll be at the Show Us Your Heart
You'll
event.
be out. Let's talk about the Show Us Your Heart event, if
It's
you wouldn't mind,
5:30 to
Recam.
7:30 tonight, 901 Lincoln Way. It's an art show basically, but it's
You're taking it on the road. Come and meet
Yeah,
Mary Anthony.
I'm just gonna be
She's going to
there.
be a
I-
spaz.
No, I'm just gonna be there. It's really
Please, people, no green
interesting,
M&Ms for her, right? It'll be awesome. There's going to be Healthy Delights, Chef Brad Hinesley, Spire
Right.
Farm to Fork. There's going to be art from 60 to about
60
80,
to 80 entries, they
folks,
said, yeah.
from the youngest of life all the way up to the wisest of years.
All heart themed.
And you could also sign up for the Heart Card. It is a
Please,
$1,200 value. You and Jeremy, you and your husband are going to be doing it in March. I did it already live on the air. It was worth every penny because it was zero. It was a $1,200 value. You could do it right now, now through the end of the year. So
Yep. They're signing people up for that. So.
let's get that. I'm going to talk to you tomorrow about that. All right? Healthy
Okay, yeah,
eating.
sounds good. Yeah,
Tell Chef Brad I
absolutely.
love him, by the way.
Okay.
I'm all
I
about
will.
that. Mr. Eldridge, have a wonderful day,
Thank
buddy.
you so much
Thanks,
for
sir.
coming.
All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you, man.
AM 1420, WIMS, Michigan City, a Girard Media Company station.